lived in a small apartment in a noisy city. My dad worked long hours as an engineer, and my mom was a part-time teacher trying to make ends meet. Then there was my little sister Mia, who was 6, and my entire world. She had asthma, diagnosed when she was 3, and her health was like a ticking time bomb. Our home was loud, not just with city sounds, but with arguments. My parents loved each other, but money was tight. Dad's job was stressful, and Mom wanted to work full-time, but Mia's hospital visits kept her tied to home. I'd hear them late at night, whispering about bills, about Mia's meds, about making it work. As the older sister, I felt this weight. I had to be the good kid, the one who didn't add to their stress. One night, Mia had a bad asthma attack. I was doing homework when I heard her wheezing, gasping in her room. Mom was at a parent-teacher meeting. Dad was working late. I froze, heart pounding, but I grabbed her inhaler and helped her breathe, counting the puffs like Mom taught me. "It's okay, Mia," I whispered, holding her tiny hand. "I'm here." The ambulance came and I rode with her, feeling like I was 30, not 12. That was my first taste of growing up fast. After that night, I became Mia's second mom. I'd check her inhaler, remind her to avoid dusty corners, and watch her like a hawk. My parents leaned on me more. "Evelyn, you're so responsible," Mom would say. But inside, I was scared. I wanted to be a kid, to play, to not worry about hospital bills or my sister's lungs. School was my escape. I loved art, sketching in notebooks, dreaming of being a designer. But even there, I felt different. Other kids talked about sleepovers. I was checking Mia's breathing at night. My best friend then, Priya, noticed. "Evelyn, you're like a grown-up already," she'd say, half joking. I'd laugh, but it hurt. I didn't want to be a grown-up yet. By 14, things got heavier. Dad lost his job when his company downsized. He took odd jobs, driving cabs, fixing electronics, but his pride took a hit. He'd snap at Mom, who'd cry quietly in the kitchen. I'd distract Mia with games, but I heard everything. I started babysitting to help with bills, hiding the cash in Mom's purse so she wouldn't feel embarrassed. "Evelyn, you're our rock," Dad said once. I smiled, but I felt the weight of that rock crushing me.
High school was supposed to be fun, right? For me, at 15, it was a balancing act. We'd moved to a slightly better apartment, but money was still tight. Dad found a new job, but it paid less. Mom worked part-time, but Mia's asthma flared up often, so someone always had to be home. That someone was usually me. I was a straight A student, not because I was a genius, but because I had to be. Scholarships were my ticket to college, to a future where I could support my family. Art class was my sanctuary. I'd lose myself in drawing, creating worlds where things were easier. My teacher, Ms. Rao, saw my talent. "Evelyn, you could go pro with this," she said, entering my work in local contests. Winning a few gave me hope, but also pressure. What if I failed? At home, I was the glue. I'd cook dinner when Mom was at the hospital with Mia, mediate when Dad got frustrated, and help Mia with homework. She was 9 now, sweet but clingy. "Evelyn, will I always be sick?" she'd ask. I'd hug her, hiding my fear. "You'll be fine, kiddo." Friends like Priya tried to pull me into normal teen stuff, movies, dances, but I'd often cancel. "Sorry, Mia's not feeling great," I'd say. Priya understood, but I saw the pity in her eyes. I hated that. I didn't want to be the poor Evelyn whose life was hard. I wanted to be normal. Then came a low point. At 16, Mia had a severe asthma attack at school. I was in math class when the principal pulled me out. "Your sister's in the hospital." I ran to the ER, heart racing. She was okay, but the doctor said her condition was worsening. New meds, more costs. That night, I overheard Mom crying to Dad, "We can't afford this. What if we lose her?" I felt helpless. I started working weekends at a cafe, lying about my age to get hired. Every paycheck went to Mom, who thought I was saving for college. I didn't tell her the truth. She'd feel guilty. But the exhaustion hit hard. I'd fall asleep in class, miss deadlines, and my grades dipped. Ms. Rao noticed. Evelyn, what's going on? I broke down, telling her everything. She hugged me, saying, "You're strong, but you don't have to do this alone." She connected me with a counselor, but I felt too proud to lean on anyone.
By 17, I was cracking. Senior year was intense. College applications, AP exams, and my cafe job. Mia's health stabilized, but the bills didn't. Dad was working overtime. Mom picked up extra tutoring. I felt like I was failing everyone. My art suffered. I hadn't drawn for fun in months. One night, I snapped. Mom asked me to pick up Mia's meds, but I just worked a double shift. "Why is it always me?" I shouted. "I'm not her mom." The room went silent. Mom's face fell. Dad looked shocked. Mia, overhearing, started crying. I felt like the worst person alive. I apologized, but the guilt lingered. Priya dragged me to a school dance to cheer me up. I went, but felt out of place. Everyone was laughing, dancing, while I worried about Mia's next appointment. A boy, Vikram, asked me to dance. He was sweet, but I pushed him away. "I can't do this," I said, leaving early. I didn't have room for normal. That winter, I hit rock bottom. I failed an art project, my first F. Ms. Rao called me in. "Evelyn, you're burning out. You're carrying too much." I cried, admitting I felt trapped. She suggested a scholarship program for disadvantaged students, which could ease my college costs. I applied, pouring my heart into the essay about caring for Mia and my family struggles. When I got accepted, it was a lifeline, but also more pressure to succeed. At 18, I started college on a full scholarship for graphic design. It was a fresh start, but I couldn't shake my responsibilities. I moved into a dorm, but visited home every weekend to help with Mia. She was 12 now, stronger but still fragile. Mom and Dad were proud, but I saw their exhaustion. I kept my cafe job, sending money home. College was overwhelming. My classmates seemed carefree while I was juggling classes and family. But art classes reignited my passion. I started freelancing, designing logos for local businesses. It felt good to create again. I made new friends. Priya was still around, now studying biology, and I met Aisha, a fellow artist. They pushed me to join clubs, go to parties. "Evelyn, live a little," Aisha said. I tried, but guilt followed. If I was out, who was watching Mia? Then came a scare. Mia was hospitalized again, a bad flare-up. I rushed home, missing a major project deadline. My professor was understanding, but I felt like a failure. That's when I started Evelyn's Stupid Life, vlogging about my struggles to cope. Sharing online was scary, but comments from viewers, people who related, gave me strength. That winter, I hit rock bottom. I failed an art project, my first F. Miss Rao called me in. "Evelyn, you're burning out. You're carrying too much." I cried, admitting I felt trapped. She suggested a scholarship program for disadvantaged students, which could ease my college costs. I applied, pouring my heart into the essay about caring for Mia and my family's struggles. When I got accepted, it was a lifeline, but also more pressure to succeed. By 20, I was rebuilding. My vlogs gained traction and freelancing grew. I landed a big client, a boutique needing branding. The money helped my family, and Mia's new treatment plan was working, but I was still stretched thin. Therapy, which I finally accepted, helped. "Evelyn, you're not responsible for everyone," my counselor said. I started setting boundaries, saying no to extra shifts, asking Mom to share Mia's care. It felt selfish at first, but it saved me. I also rediscovered art for me, not just work. Late-night sketching became my therapy. I designed a logo for my channel, a star, symbolizing hope. Viewers loved it, and my subscriber count grew. "You're inspiring," one comment read. Me? Inspiring? That shifted something. Aisha and Priya became my anchors. We'd have girls' nights, laughing until we cried. I even dated briefly, a guy from class, but ended it when it felt like too much. "I need to focus on me," I told him. It was the first time I prioritized myself.
Now at 25, I'm not the scared girl who carried the world. Evelyn's Designs is a thriving business, and my channel has thousands of subscribers. Mia's healthier, starting high school. My parents are stable, and I've taught them to lean on each other, not just me. Growing up fast wasn't fair, but it made me resilient. I learned to be my own hero, not by saving everyone, but by saving myself first. Boundaries, self-love, and art got me here. To my viewers, you're stronger than you know. Share your stories below, subscribe, and let's keep navigating this stupid, beautiful life together.